into it all. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes Podcast presented by Four Peaks. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey and Craig and Sean. We are in Nashville day 2. Thank you guys for holding it down yesterday while I was chatting with Kells on the red carpet for the NHL Awards, but we're just one day away from the NHL Draft now.
You know, it's exciting to talk about the draft, but Uncle, like we've been talking about Connor Bedard on this show for 14 months, and so I mean,
not as much as the CHGO Blackhawks show.
Good grief! But I'm glad. It's here. Like it's tomorrow, and with all the speculation, all the mocking of mock drafts.
Our real mock draft coming later today.
Yeah, look for it because that was a lot of fun.
It was really fun.
Has it really only been 24 hours since we've been here? It feels longer.
It feels like we've been here for 2 weeks.
Oh my God!
Kidding.
Yeah, it feels my back. Ask my back about that. No, but it was fun. I tell you what, this if people were wondering if this is a fun city, the answer would be yes.
Yeah, John, do we have the brain cell graphic for Petey from yesterday and today?
Yeah, actually, we should talk about all this right off the top. For those just joining us, so we had quite a night last night. Well, first of all, we did do a lot of work. I promise. We were at the NHL Awards. We were at the red carpet at the awards.
Is that the official response for in case Brandon's bad?
We did a lot of work yesterday. And then work hard, play hard, and Petey kind of led the charge on a bar hop down Broadway. Excuse me. So let's start with who you ran into on the street before any of this happened.
Luckily, I ran into somebody before we started the tour, so it was very coherent. It was a good conversation with Danny Briere, general manager of the Philadelphia Flyers and former Arizona Coyote, and he was looking like a tourist in Nashville. He had just the shorts and the T-shirt on, so it was it was good. So we good. The one thing about when you put an event like this on in a city like this, where it's such a concentric downtown, you run into a lot of people. Yeah. And I think there were so many hockey people that I at least saw or recognized over the night, and Danny Briere kicked it all off. So
just in like sweatshorts and a T-shirt, right? Yeah. Like the general manager of the Flyers just walking down Broadway.
Yep. It's honestly iconic. Good for him. So that's where your night began, and then you got to go to your favorite place on earth.
I did. Documented
by RG of DNVR. So we have our video of Petey walking into his beloved Tootsie's and spotting there's the Steve drink.
The Steve drink over the door.
It's for sure named after you. Like, for sure. Without a doubt.
Absolutely it is. And for the amount of time, money, and effort I've spent in that building, they should probably name a drink after me. And the way I've been promoting it too, like who wasn't at Tootsie's? And by the way, I made the stop there with some guys from DNVR last night too. And
then you went to Tootsie's 3 different times last night. So the second time you brought me, it was my first time, and we pull up the menu of Tootsie's. Like literally the bartender is like, here's the menu. Yep. And I look at the menu, and on the first 2 cocktails, the Steve drink and Leah's key lime pie. Yeah, like, are you kidding?
The first 2, again, named after us. And all the promoting we've done of Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. That is a true story. That is an actual true photo of the Tootsie's Orchid Lounge menu. Steve and Leah, the first 2 drinks.
Hey, do you want some fun breaking Denver news that just happened while we're in an Airbnb with the DNVR Avalanche crew? The Canadians have acquired the rights to forward Alex Newhook from the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for Montreal's 31st and 37th overall picks in the 2023 draft.
So much for that mock draft we just did.
So our mock draft is already out of date, but that's okay. Wow. So there you have it. Tune in to DNVR Avalanche.
So now the Avs are
after our show.
The Avs got the 31st and 37th?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. Anyway, that was just a little aside. Continuing on our night.
Wow.
Who else did you saw? A ton of people.
Yeah, and so another former Coyote player that is pretty much, I think, has become the mayor of Nashville, virtually the mayor of every city he's in, was Paul Bissonnette, and very Paul Bisson-esque posed in this picture. He hosted the award show, and he went out in his cowboy hat and jean jacket, and he's fun as always. We hope to talk more with him over the next 2 days while we're at the draft. I know he's here all week, so hopefully we get a little more time to spend with Paul Bissonnette. Keith Tkachuk was out. Matthew Tkachuk was out. There were so many people.
Yeah, you saw Matty Beniers at Tootsie's.
No, he couldn't be at Tootsie's.
No,
he was outside Tootsie's.
Oh, he was outside?
Yeah,
he's
not
underage?
21.
I didn't even realize that. He
inside
doesn't. He
Tootsie's.
looks older than that.
He was outside.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But all those draft class guys were, I mean, there are a lot of guys walking around from the awards and around the streets. There were agents, there were media personnel, there were team representatives,
saw Coyotes
scouts,
PR staff at the stage.
Staff. Yep, we saw, if they were involved in the hockey world, they were somewhere on that strip last night. And the amount of country music that goes on in this city, and I will say it's bar after bar, and some bars have 3 bands playing at the same time.
It was shocking. I couldn't believe that.
There must be 40 or 50 country bands playing at any given moment, and it's just amazing that level of talent.
Yeah, that's the thing about it is the quality of the musicians on Broadway is just ridiculous.
And it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Till 2 in the morning, and it's nonstop at every place there, and the music's great. And even if you're not a huge fan of country music, the live performances were amazing, and they play. I heard a band play Jonas Brothers last night. It was a bachelorette party at Tootsie's. Ironically, they requested Jonas Brothers the year 3000, and they tried it. They put it up on their phones, and they gave it a good college try. So yeah, it was a great experience here. It's a great place. They should have events like this in towns like this. And you get them in big cities like you do in New York, and where it's so big and everybody's so spread out, you don't have this kind of community that you do here in Nashville of everybody partying and enjoying and being part of the event together. So this is a great place to have this event.
So I had I arrived a little bit later, joined you guys at the stage because you guys had moved on. You had progressed pretty well into the night by then.
Yep.
I was at the awards show, had a chat with Clayton Keller, and came over with the DNVR crew. We hung out for a bit. It was a blast, actually. It was really good. Mac was rolling at that point. I went upstairs to talk to some old colleagues, and Leah texted me to say that she was going back because Leah hit a wall at some point, which is understandable. We were up for like 21 hours, right? But I got back downstairs. Entire staff was gone. I got ghosted. I'm just letting everybody know I got completely ghosted.
Just know that I texted Craig.
Yeah, Leah did. But that's how Leah Merrill.
So there should be some kind of rules at a certain point of the evening that we're not babysitting anymore. Like, if I want to go somewhere, I'm going. Like and I wanted to leave. Truth is, you left us first.
Should I tell the story about getting a free hot dog on the street?
Yeah.
Literally, okay, this is going to sound really sketchy. But like, we were at the hot dog stand, and this random man was like, "Here, take my hot dog."
Yeah.
What was on that hot dog?
That sounds so sketchy.
Yeah, I realized it as I was saying it. Ketchup, mustard, and cheese. That was a first for me. That was a first. Oh, Michaela had a mustard-only hot dog.
I skipped the hot dog.
I also had a hot dog last night. How much did you pay for your hot dog, Mac?
I don't know. Ryan paid for it.
Ryan, how much did you pay for a hot dog?
It was like $10 or something.
Not here. He was here.
Mine was $9, and somebody else told me I paid $10. Somebody else I paid $7. These guys were just randomly picking prices based on who they were looking at, I think.
Yeah.
But none of them were cheap.
Steven, we need to know, mustard only, or do you like ketchup?
No.
Are you going to say ketchup?
Ketchup.
Steven from CHGO likes ketchup. I knew I liked him. So
behind the scenes, Sean, did we go, hey, let's ghost Craig, let's get out of here? Well, he's gone.
No,
that did not happen.
Craig ghosted.
He left us.
Me, I stayed my ass in one place the whole night.
Yeah.
Wow, the whole story is coming out now.
And there was a
split. So let me get this right. It's okay for Petey to talk to his old colleagues. That's all. That's all good fun for the night. But when I do it, Craig ghosted us.
We didn't. Petey's not complaining about nobody leaving.
There was no level of expectation.
Nobody left him.
Yeah, because there was no opportunity.
I'm 55 years old. If I want to go here, I'm going here.
If I had been invited to talk with all these fancy people upstairs, I would never have left you because I would have been with you. But I never got invited, so I stayed my ass in one place, like I said.
You did miss out on that part of the conversation. That was Jesse from DNVR. We bumped shoulders with some people. So that was fun.
Oh, man.
So anyway, to recap it all, we all got back safe and sound.
Yep.
We did.
And we are on like our
Some
fifth
of us
coffees
woke up
of the
earlier
day.
than others.
Michaela hasn't even made it down the stairs yet. She's
almost
actually
halfway down
she's
the stairs.
on the stairs currently.
What time is it?
It's 1:16.
When did we get the Slack message that Mac was awake?
11:20.
Okay. Unbelievable. So that's what Nashville does to people. The good news is we only have 3 more days here. Can we survive this? 3 more days?
I don't know.
Oh, that Friday show that we do live on Friday morning is going to be
Phoenix?
No sleep. Yep.
Just gong show.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be off the rails. Like
Night
this
4
one
of Tootsie's, and then flying. Oh my God.
Imagine having to produce that.
But at least we'll have our draft picks, so we don't have to talk about them anymore.
Yeah, right. Well, to everyone who joined us to hear about our draft preview, I promise we're getting there. We'll get there in just a minute. We're going to talk about how the top 5 could influence who the Coyotes pick at 6, if the Coyotes will stick at 6. Just some more possibilities for that pick and beyond. So we'll get into our full draft preview. But before we do, one thing we can all agree on, I know we've disagreed on Irish goodbyes and bar exits, but we can all agree that BetMGM is the best place to bet on sports. So if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, make sure you do so and use that bonus code PHNX. And right now, every Friday, you get a free bonus bet when you log into the app. Just every Friday, just log in. You'll get yourself a bonus bet. Make sure you do that. There's a few different offers depending on where you live. But for our Arizona audience, you can place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use the bonus code PHNX. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
All right.
So the other thing to keep in mind when you get down south in this weather, it's really humid. Isn't it?
It's tough.
So we've always referred to this summer as smooth sack summer.
Have we?
We have. And so very important for all the guys out there to make sure you groom your parts before walking down Broadway. Like, seriously, not just the chafing and scratching, it's literally the sweating. You have to. So thank God before I came, I took the Lawnmower 4.0 with its. Do you know it's waterproof? It's got a light. It's got a light.
I did know that.
You can shave in the dark.
So did you do it underwater then?
In the dark. Underwater in the dark with its light. This smooth sack summer, wouldn't miss out on that. And more importantly, Manscaped.com takes care of all your male grooming needs. And at my age of 55, it's more about the ears, the nose, and the eyebrows than it is the other parts, because I really don't care about those as much anymore. But oh well. But you know what you do at Manscaped.com? You need to go to Manscaped.com, get 20% off and free shipping with the code PHNX at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code PHNX at Manscaped.com. It's smooth sack summer. Get on board or get left behind. And as always, no nicks, no cuts, and no fuzzy nuts. Manscaped.com. See, that was
Caleb said, "Tune up our guitars?" ? See, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah, it took me a while to get there. Caleb, I'm sorry.
We're all.
But you know when I found out I had that read, Caleb? Like
during the BetMGM disclaimer.
Oh, by the way, you gotta read about smooth balls right now.
By the way,
that was hard. Sweaty balls. But one of the best Saturday Night Skits all time.
I also want to put this out there.
Yes.
I was asleep before PD even got in his Uber to come home.
That is not true.
That is true. And you all know PD goes to bed at 8. So
PD did not go to bed at 8 on this trip.
All right, let's get into draft talk. I know that's what the people want to hear. And this is an interesting one. We've been talking about it, as you mentioned already, for months. And it all comes down to tomorrow. So we saw it this morning in our mock draft when we did it, which, again, stay tuned to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel for our mock draft. Disclaimer, we did not know about the Montreal Canadiens Avs trade beforehand. But how the top 5 shakes out completely affects how the Coyotes will pick at 6. There's so many different possibilities of how the order can go. David Reinbacher can jump into the top 5 and push one of those top five widely considered, is what I should say, guys down to the Coyotes at 6. Matvei Michkov, if he goes in the top 5 versus if he falls, that can have a huge effect. So what happens in that top 5 is going to be is going to dictate how the Coyotes pick it.
Yeah, but you look at what we said this last year, and we thought we knew, and we thought it's going to be Shane Wright, and it's going to go in this order, and here's the Coyotes going to take. And it blew up on the first pick. It's not going to happen here. No. Connor Bedard is 1. There's no question. Connor Bedard, and more than likely Fantilli is 2. Yeah. It's 3, 4, 5, 6 for me. And this is unusual for a draft because of Matvei Michkov and all the things we've talked about over the last few days about him coming from Russia and where he fits in personal views and meetings and so forth. I think that's the wild card here, and we've said it before. But even when you look through some of the other mock drafts from people in the know, they have people all over the place. Like you see Will Smith going at 3 and Leo Carlsson now 4, and we had it flipped the other way earlier in the week. So I think the drama of this draft is really going to come in on the 3rd pick. I think that's where you're going to start going, okay, who are they going to take? I think 1 and 2, I believe it's Bedard and Fantilli.
And Reinbacher's the other wild card here for me, and I don't know if it's real, the evaluations that we're hearing from some people, because I've heard people say, we're not sure he's going to last past the top 5. And I don't know if that's true or if that's just typical misinformation this time of year. I know there are people who don't think he belongs in that top group. Like, not even beyond that, Robbie. Like, you might not get down till 8 before you want Reinbacher because there's so many good forwards in this draft. It's hard to know what to believe, but he could throw things off too. Imagine if he jumps into the top 5. Who drops then for the Coyotes that they didn't think maybe was going to be there at number 6?
Yeah, and that's one of the names. It's funny that we talked about it early in the season, and we had graphics with him with Will Smith, and we thought as the Coyotes started to play better and do worse in the Bedard sweepstakes, we said, oh, maybe they can get to Will Smith. And then they went past Will Smith. He's another player that could go as high as 3, and he could drop to the Coyotes at 6. And I think there's such a range of that second tier of player that the good news for the Coyotes is I think they're going to get a good player at 6. And with the other one we haven't mentioned yet, Dalibor Dvorsky, is a guy that could go up and down in that scale as well. So the good news is there's somebody there at 6 that the Coyotes are going to be very happy with. The reality is I have no idea who that's going to be. And to be fair, they don't know either because they don't know how 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to shape out.
Right. Just a couple notes. I obviously wrote a story on 5 guys that I've heard that they're considering.
Your lead was hilarious.
Yeah, because and it's true. I heard from, as you put them, well-connected sources, right? In the week that I got back from vacation, people that I really trust in this business reached out. Hey, I heard the Coyotes are interested in this guy. Hey, I heard the Coyotes are interested in this guy. It wasn't the same guy. It was 5 different names came up. And that's how uncertain it is right now. Part of that is what you talked about. How is it going to shake out? Part of it's the misinformation. Part of it may be, gosh, we're still not sure. Going right up until the last minute, not sure who they're going to take.
Well, speaking of up until the last minute, so the Coyotes are actually meeting with Matvei Michkov today.
Yep.
So a lot can depend on how that meeting goes.
Imagine relying so much on that meeting. Look, Bob McKenzie said it when he was on our show. There haven't been live viewings on this guy in almost 2 years, right? It's been a really long time since anybody really got to see him. And granted, you have sources over there that you can talk to that are maybe in contact, but you want that face-to-face contact with a player before you're committing this high a pick to him. So you're putting so much stock in this meeting, and a bunch of teams are meeting with Michkov. Anybody in that range is going to have a meeting with Michkov, who arrived in North America last week and got to Nashville this week, presumably. I don't know if I feel comfortable basing your entire decision on that one meeting, though. You have the scouting reports. You know what this guy's done in the past. You can watch video, even if you didn't do the live viewings for a year. But, man, how uncomfortable that must be, just to sit in a meeting with a kid whose English probably isn't the best, right? And think that you're going to come out of that meeting knowing whether you're going to select him or not.
And this is a huge draft for the Coyotes.
Yes.
And this is a huge decision at 6. And it would be, if they were picking 2 or 3, I think it shapes their franchise. They feel they can do that at 6. You can't miss. You can't miss at 6. And if Matvei Michkov has any question marks at all, you got to go buy him. Like I know people are saying, "Oh, you got to get him at 6." The reality is, if he's still there at 6, there could be an opportunity. Reinbacher said it earlier that you could trade down or trade back.
And that's the other thing we've talked about. I talked about it in the story. Like everybody is hearing that the Capitals are interested in him. They've obviously had success drafting Russian players. They're sitting at number 8. So if they come to you, he's still there at 6 and say, "We'll give you." I don't know what that asset is. You get an additional asset, drop down to 8, still get the guy that you're targeting, and another asset. You got to listen to that.
Yeah, and I think there's some reality to that, too. And I think that's where we talk about that second tier of player, or even the third tier. Yeah. They're so similar that I know Bill Armstrong trusts his scouting staff, and he believes in what they say. So if he's got a range of players, and there's 3 or 4 guys still on that list at 6, and he goes, gosh, we could get the 8th pick and move. I believe he will. It wouldn't surprise me a bit. Now, if the guy they're looking for at 6 is there, they're going to take him. Like if Will Smith drops, so we haven't talked about Ryan Leonard. If he's there at 6, maybe that's. I don't know where they're going. There's so many good players and unique stories there. The most important thing is they can't miss. You can't miss success, and we've seen this organization miss at 3,
twice.
I'm not gonna. Yeah. So.
Sorry.
Wow.
Did I say that?
Too soon. But they can't miss at 6. You can't when you have a pick at 6 and 12. These 2 picks for this franchise, for this general manager at this time, is huge. They can't miss. They don't have to be A1 first line centers. It'd be nice if they were. They don't have to be. They have to be everyday NHL players in your preferably in your top 6 or your top 4 D, and you have to hit.
You want to talk about what some of these guys might add?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, let's start with Dalibor Dvorsky, who's been, I don't even want to say climbing draft boards recently because you never know if that's media driven or if it's real. If the scouts know, they know by now.
But
what
I would say that the draft experts who came on all said he has been, especially because of his performance at the
international competitions. Yeah, and that's so. He's a center with good size, not huge, but good size. And, I talked to Craig Button about him, and he's like, is he Logan Cooley's skill set? No. But he's a really responsible center. He's got to shore up his defense a little bit, but he's a grinder is what he is. He wins battles. He's not afraid to get in to those hard areas, which is, does that sound like a Bill Armstrong type of player? And what Craig said is, I think he's a 55 to 60 point guy. If that's your second line center, fine. That's the production you're looking for from your second line center. So I could see him slotting in.
Yeah, I know this is a pick we hear a lot associated with the Arizona Coyotes. The one thing, and I don't, again, preface it with I don't watch these players. I watch highlights, and that's not a fair assessment of the deep, deep dives that these scouts do. The thought I have on Dvorsky is he's played his best hockey over this international tournament at the under-18s, where he was elite in that tournament.
Against his peers.
And I'm not sure over the longer body of work, if you saw that, if it's fairly spread out over the entire season, he just had a great tournament. I don't know. They know.
Yeah, you remember what McKenzie said about that too, right? Like, and it's back-to-back years that he really performed well on the international stage. But in Allsvenskan, he didn't put up great numbers, so it's hard to know. It's hard,
and that's why I keep going back. The player I like at that spot, I like Ryan Leonard, but
you've been on the Ryan Leonard train for a while.
I like his tenacity. I like his work on the puck. I know. I wish he was just a little bit bigger. He plays bigger than he is. But if the Coyotes announce Ryan Leonard at 6, I think, or Dvorsky or Will Smith. Or
if Will Smith drops, wow.
I don't see it happening.
But we said that last year, and I agree. Though we said Shane Wright at 4. So I'm over with the once it gets through 1 and 2. I think it's all bets off. I really do. I think Will Smith is going to go. I think he'll go 3.
But I think he'll go 3rd.
I think Will Smith's going to go. I think he's going to go early. I think he's 3. I don't think he's there for the Coyotes at 6. But if he is, you got to lap up.
2 other guys I want to just discuss. I talked about him in the story today. Reinbacher is one of those guys. Pretty much consensus top defenseman in this draft. The question is he a top pair guy? There's some people who think he could be. He's probably a top 4 guy at least. Chris Peters is the one who made this point to me. When you're looking at Reinbacher, if you're choosing between him and a wing, which is more important to your team, a top 4 defenseman or a top 6 wing? Unless that wing is like, Alex Ovechkin, Patrick Kane level, don't you want the defenseman instead? Isn't that more important to your team? The minutes that he logs, the role that he plays. It's an interesting argument for David Reinbacher.
It's true, but one of the things to keep in mind, and you'll see this especially when players are 18 years old, is you look, if you want a guy to make an immediate impact, that's going to be the forward. And you saw it in Sean DePaz's Buffalo Sabres. Like Rasmus Dahlin took time. Yeah. And you don't just step in at 18, 19 years old and go, oh my gosh, he's a star. You can jump in on a wing and be 18 and 19 with a high skill set and you can make an impact right away. But over the long term, I agree. And this team, we've talked about the Coyotes and their lack of defensive depth. Yeah. A right-handed defenseman like Reinbacher, hard to come by. And once you get him, and if you could land him and get that player to play there for a decade, it's a huge piece of that puzzle. And that's one of the reasons I think the Buffalo Sabres are going to be a team that's going to be challenging for the playoffs this year, because they do have that defensive depth that they drafted. So Reinbacher to the Coyotes, I don't know if they're going to go with the defenseman up at 6. Reinbacher could be there at 6, and he's a guy that could play for a long time on the right side of your defense in your top 4. I still think they take a forward in that spot. I hope they do drop some defense depth in this draft, though.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a minute. The last guy to mention on this list is Matthew Wood, who I think a lot of people think is probably in a lower range, maybe available at that 12 pick. He's really a Bill Armstrong type of player, though. A big power forward who probably hasn't fully blossomed yet, but had a really good freshman season at Connecticut. He interests me. I mean, if he's there at 12, I could definitely see the Coyotes taking him. Craig Button had him listed number 6 on his draft rankings, on his mock draft. He had him going to the Coyotes at 6, which really surprised me. But he feels like a Bill Armstrong type of player.
But again, Craig, it goes back to that depth of player right now. If you see this player ranked from 6 to 15, depending on who you listen to, that's a vast range.
It is.
And that's what gives you the faith that in 6 and 12, you hope your scouts have done a good job. You can pick up 2 good players. I like Wood. I like Wood at the 12. I think that spot for that big player for a Bill Armstrong team fits. And again, I keep going back to Sean DePaz's Buffalo Sabres. Is Tage Thompson, big body from Connecticut? Can he be? Right. Can he be another player to follow in those footsteps?
Who drafted that guy?
Yeah, it would be Bill Armstrong. Yeah.
I like Matthew Wood, but it's for a different reason than both of you, and it's because
another Manscaped read.
No. Shane was at the top prospect availability today. And probably asked, I'm sure this was I don't know, but I'm sure this was Matthew Wood's favorite question of the week, because in his draft week where it's like, oh, what does this mean to you? How is this going? What are you thinking? How are you feeling? Shane asked him, what's the biggest animal you could kill with a sword? And this was Matthew Wood's response.
What do you think the biggest animal you could take down with a sword is? Life or death scenario.
How big's the sword? Like, good size?
Yeah, let's say whatever sword you want.
Probably like an elephant.
Really?
Yeah, I think you gotta just get him in the right spot.
How big's the sword?
Yeah,
what a question! That's a great answer.
That's a good follow-up question.
That's amazing.
I need more information here.
I mean, an elephant. I don't know.
Well, before people start hating on it for killing elephants, elephants are awesome. We did identify it as a life or death situation. It's either you or the elephant.
And
self-defense at that
it's
point.
hypothetical. Right? There are no actual elephants harmed in the recording of that interview question.
That's right.
I did not ask that question of Clayton Keller on the Walk-In and Talk, and I probably will leave that off my repertoire.
That's a very Shane question.
It could come up on the Walk-In in the streets tonight, though.
Yeah, especially if you get a couple beers in you.
Me?
You? I gotta say, we had a great time, but there was something missing, and it was the fact there's no Four Peaks here.
There are no Four Peaks here.
And that's a huge bummer to me. So I'm looking forward. We might have to do a little hair of the dog action on Friday. We're going to be so dead that we might just have to drink on that show. But lucky for us, we have a beer fridge stocked full of Four Peaks beer. And if you're in Arizona right now, you have the privilege, the benefit of going to any place you can buy beer and finding Four Peaks available. You can also check out the H Street Pub. And today is Tuesday, and Teacher Tuesdays are back at the H Street Pub every Tuesday through July. Bring a valid teacher ID and receive $4 pints of Kitlifter, Wow, Hazy, and Hopknot. You can check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. Yesterday, we did our big travel day, and Sean showed up,
say that.
enjoying the effects of one OG's. Sean, which flavor did you partake in before our flight?
I mean, it's summer, baby. I was on the pink lemonade.
Yeah, that's everyone's new favorite.
It is the best flavor.
I'm telling you, everybody who's tried it has said it's the best flavor. So, I don't know. Try it. It is limited edition. I highly recommend it. I haven't had one yet, but I did take a whiff of the bag, and it smelled amazing.
Does limited edition mean we're not going to have this for very long?
I think so.
That's kind
of
sad.
That's what limited
It's
edition
kind of
is.
sad, unless people like you make it so popular that
Yeah, we'll see.
it's not going away.
So just stock up today. You can go to your local dispensary. Don't miss out when it comes to flavor and effect. Get your pink lemonade gummies while you can. You can check out OG's online at ogsbrands.com and on Instagram at ogsbrands. They have something for everyone. You can also find their products at your local dispensary, but you must be 21 years or older to purchase.
Quick aside that the chat is taking us on, or I guess really just Caleb and Dan. How many koalas do you think I could kill with a sword if they came at me in waves of 5?
Wow.
Dan said that I could get up to 50 before I tired.
Are they? What formation are they in? Are they alive?
They're coming in the flying V. It's the flying V with 5 koalas at a time.
John Wick, full on John Wick.
Give me a samurai sword. I don't think I'm stopping until I want to.
Oh my God, I love our chat. All right, well, we've talked.
By the way, Mac has gone back to bed. Just want to point that out.
I want that schedule. Next year I'm doing social media because that seems to be be at the events.
Oh man,
Is it too early to start talking about Max Celebrini?
Oh,
I'm just
good
kidding.
Lord.
Kidding.
We've talked a ton
Let's
about
go.
who the Coyotes are going to pick at 6. It's all about 6. Let's talk about pick 12 and beyond. And the short answer is we don't know.
Can you imagine? We don't. The chaos leading up to 6, we can't even anticipate.
I know.
Can you imagine all the way to 12?
There's so many possibilities.
Wow.
And I guarantee a trade's happening in the first 12 picks.
Right.
Like, I feel very confident. Not necessarily with the Coyotes. I just feel confident that that's going to happen.
I think the Coyotes' sense of this draft is that it's really forward heavy, at least from the top of their scouting department. That's my sense. Could they be lying to me? Sure. They could be. But so it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Coyotes took 2 forwards in this draft, even though we've identified that defensive need. But I wrote about this earlier in the week. A couple of things. They get to that second round pick. You could find a defenseman there, or you could get a goalie. We'll see when the run on goalies starts. I'm really curious about that. If it doesn't happen at the end of the first round, I think it's going to happen sometime in the second round. We'll see a run, and then it'll be several goalies going. But they'll need to get a defense at some point. They have all of those third round picks, so they can cash those in as well. So I'm really curious to see how all of that plays out.
Yes, their ability to move from the third to the second round if they see that run,
or even move up. Right?
Yeah.
You can even put a couple of those third round picks together and try and move up and get what you want.
I think one of the things Bill is willing to do is move some of those picks. If the player he really wants is there, he's going to trade to get it.
And the other point that both Daryl Plandowski and Ryan Jankowski made to me is next year's draft, at least right now, right? Who knows with the evaluation of really young kids, is much better for defensemen. So there's the thought that there are several high-quality defensemen that are better than anybody in this year's draft.
And they've got a lot of draft picks next year, too.
Yeah.
And so you could, package something this year, next year, do whatever you need to do to get into that spot. So I think there's so much. It's been fun speculating on all these different names and trying to fit and see where they fit in the lineup and where they might go in what direction. And honestly, we have no idea. Like, we really don't. We've thrown all these names, and hopefully the people that are watching and our PHNX family understands these are the names to look for. And I hope if we've done that and they go, oh, yeah, I've heard of that guy, then I think we've done our jobs. I don't think we're going to sit here and go, they should pick this guy. I just don't think we can do that.
Do you think they make any other trades in the first round to get a third first round pick?
I don't know. I think it's on the table. I think they're definitely going to listen. I think Bill's made it clear already that he wants to be active here and move the team forward. Again, it's not going to be crazy move. So, I mean, getting a higher draft pick, yeah, that could be one of those things. They could stock the cupboard with another high-end prospect. Remember, Dan Marr, director of Central Scouting, said this draft's like 50 to 60 deep. So you can, the more players you can get in that range, and they have a lot in the first 3 rounds, or the first 2 rounds, I should say, the better, right? Maybe they move up even into the second round out of the third round and try and grab another guy. We'll see how it all plays out.
The other thing, when we sit and recap this on Thursday afternoon, we're all going to go, yay. And, oh, this is great, and what great picks. But you know what? 31 other shows are going to be doing the same thing.
Nobody knows.
Because I've been at multiple drafts, and I've yet to hear a guy go, oh, we didn't. We missed out on a guy, but, oh, our draft sucked. Everybody, we got such a great draft.
Got our guy. We had him higher on our board.
Yes, we had that guy in the third round. We got him in the fifth. Like, exactly. I guarantee everybody's going to say that. Nobody knows. Like, we're putting so much thought and effort into this, and 2 years from now, we're going to know. And I brought up somebody, Connor Smith said, do you think Connor Geekie, who got drafted last year, do you think he's going to be a part of this team next year? And I don't. No, he's going to be a kid that goes back to junior another year. So that's 2 years that player's gone, that he's not here to play. And Logan Cooley's going to take 2 years in college.
Maverick Lamoureux. Maverick, we don't know yet.
So those players are guys that were drafted last year are going to be gone for 2 years. So these guys just
slow
pump the brakes a little bit.
Right. Don't expect immediate results. Let them develop. Yes. Let them bake.
Yep.
And that's what brings up, because Aviation just asked, are there any potential first-round picks this year going to play next season? Connor Bedard. That's the list.
Yeah. Well, Adam Fantilli.
Maybe Adam Fantilli.
Yeah, we'll see about that one. I'm curious about that one.
Fantilli is interesting. I don't know. Like, I think Bedard is. Bedard's playing.
But Coyotes 6 and 12, I would say no.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
And I do feel like times are changing. I feel like in the past, if you were, in that first handful of round one guys, you go to the NHL quicker. I feel like the development leagues have become so good. College, we've seen the college, the CHL, changed. Europe. And the way that the teams are in communication with those coaches. We talked to Lee Stepniak and Nathaniel Brooks, and they're in contact with all of the prospects coach. So next week, I can't even believe I'm saying this. Next week is Coyotes development camp. So they're going to be able to connect and see these guys and tell them, hey, like, this is what we want you to work on before next summer and things like that. So we talk about over baking all the time. I think it's important. I know everyone's so excited, to get Cooley, to get Geeky, to get whoever's the pick at 6 and 12. But it's okay. Like, it'll all come together in time, hopefully.
With Cooley specifically, I know there's a lot of concern. Oh, he decided not to turn pro. Take a look at the trend, what that's happening with college hockey players now. This is the thing. Guys going back for their second year. And the reason really isn't about, I'm not ready to, I don't want to commit to that team yet. It's about bypassing the AHL. And I really think that's what was happening here with Logan Cooley. He's eliminating the possibility of having to play in the AHL, which was a real possibility next season because there is plenty of refinement still needed in Logan Cooley's game, puck management, defensive side of the puck. Another year in college, he allows his body to get bigger, he can develop a little longer, and he probably bypasses the AHL and comes right to the NHL. But I do not think that there is any concern whatsoever that Logan Cooley is going to stay 4 years at Minnesota and then become a free agent because he doesn't want to be a Coyote. No, it's just not on the table.
But I think it's interesting, though, how much the NCAA game has evolved and that you see guys picked in the top 10, top 15, and playing a year or two of college. You didn't see that before. Those kids were all coming out of CHL and junior kids and some Europeans. Or if it was a college kid, he's coming. He's coming that year. So it's interesting to see how that development process has changed for the NCAA, and clearly it's working.
You know what I'm looking forward to after the draft is over? As much as I look forward to mock drafts.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Well, yeah, like legitimately looking forward to sleep. But like I love mock drafts. You know what else I love? Draft grades.
Draft grades.
You love a draft grade.
The day after the draft, we'll tell you how.
Get ready.
We'll give you
Go PHNX.com.
Nobody's played a single game, but we will give you grades nonetheless.
Oh my gosh.
Dumb.
I have to acknowledge this comment from Caleb. Amazing. Hopefully our draft education campaign goes better than the last information campaign.
Wow.
Oops.
Wow.
We tried on that too, okay?
We did our best.
We really did. We did our part.
We did try.
Oh man. Anything else you guys want to talk about for before tomorrow? About the draft?
I'm just happy it's here.
Me too.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, I'm ready too. I want to know who's a Coyote. I want to get to know them. And we'll talk to all of them after they get selected.
Anybody who's here, anyway.
Anyone who's here, yeah. We'll talk to them. Petey and Sean will be live at Love and Exile.
All day.
4-hour draft show. Oh. Yeah, seriously. So you can have a second screen experience and just know that when Craig and I talk to the guys, they're going to have the video first, so that you're going to want to have that on your second screen. If you want to hear from the newest Coyotes, tune in to our draft show tomorrow live for Arizona time. I think it's starting around 10 to 4, 4-ish. Whenever the draft starts, just tune in to our PHNX Sports YouTube channel so you can watch that. But like we said, we're going to talk to everyone, and then it'll just be exciting to dive deeper on those particular players and not speculate any longer because we've been doing a lot of speculation lately. But it's a lot of fun. I'm excited for the rest of today as well because we're going on a boat today, you guys. We're on a boat.
A boat. Yeah. See, I don't know if people can recognize the evening we had last night, and I think people understand.
I think we implied it in our first segment.
Yes, I think that people understand where we're at, or at least where I'm at physically. An hour and a half on a boat.
This is my third coffee of the day.
It's just gonna be rough.
By the way, did you hear?
We're gonna be anchored in harbor doing this.
Did you read the disclaimer? Like, there's a fee if you throw up on the boat.
Roaring Fork said, "I'm not wearing my mesh shirt anymore."
Yeah, there's a cleanup fee if you throw up on the boat.
So get to the rail if you're gonna do that. Just get to the rail. And project outward.
Would people be disappointed if I just sat and waved from the dock? Yeah, can't get out.
We could put you in a chair on the boat. Just can't.
What's the Weekend at Bernie's? Could I do that? Put the glass on me and then Petey's waving like a nap.
Oh man!
No, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And again, as soon as we get off the boat, where are we? We're just off Broadway.
Yep.
And again, it's another night of I know former head coach Rick Tocchet rolls into Nashville tonight, so we might try to bump into him. And
a lot of people arriving today. Yeah.
There's a lot of hockey people.
Tucson Roadrunners coach Steve Potvin
just landed. He's probably at Tootsie's right now.
I'm really excited for our events with our diehards starting today on the boat. And if you want to become a diehard so you can get 20% off events like the one we're having this week, you can do so right now. Go phnx.com/diehard. You also get 20% off merchandise. You get exclusive access to Craig's diehard only articles. You also get access to our diehard Discord as well. So become a diehard today and check out phnxlocker.com to grab your membership and all all of the above. Join our family. We appreciate it. And we are trying to give you as much of an inside look into the draft as we possibly can, and way more to come. We've only scratched the surface.
Have you seen the Die Hard T-shirts that are not Die Hard?
The exclusive T-shirts for this trip.
Yeah,
money.
Are we wearing those
today? Tonight? Well, everyone's gonna get them today. You are welcome to wear it on the boat.
Okay, just asking. I saw that. I just saw them downstairs. And who's gonna end up carrying them? Probably me. That's how it works out. I get the middle seat.
I'm wearing mesh.
I wasn't volunteering. I was pointing at Mac.
Oh, okay. She's.
Oh.
But
I thought you were raising your hand, but you were pointing up because she has yet to come downstairs.
If she gets out of bed before the boat cruise.
Oh man, we went on a walk this morning, the three of us. Nice walk to go get bagels and coffee for everyone, and we walked by a Circle K.
We did,
because even in Nashville, there's Circle Ks everywhere. They're just so reliable. They're just so reliable, and I saw a big sign on it: "Go inside, grab a Polar Pop."
We didn't. We should have.
We really should have.
Needed a Polar Pop.
Our hands were full.
I might need one this afternoon for
those
for
cups
revival.
don't sweat either.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
check out Circle K. Make sure you're not missing out on all the great stuff, the gas, the drinks, the snack. You can text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get buy one get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Head to circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. The Angry Budgie said, hello from Manchester. We'll be following the draft from the UK. Though given the time difference, I may be asleep. Fair enough.
But
draft rolls around once a year.
Without the time zone difference, I might be asleep. And I'm actually doing the show. So
I've actually been in Europe for the NHL draft twice.
Have you really?
And both times I woke up in the middle of the night to watch.
Did you?
Yep.
You're so bougie.
One of them was the Austin Matthews draft. So I didn't wake up. I was still awake.
Where were you?
Italy.
Oh, where were you in Italy?
Orvieto.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, so we were out at the bars, and my friends were like, we got to be home by 3 a.m. so Leah can watch the NHL draft. That was that year.
Got to be home by 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's a tough bar.
I was 20. I was 20 at the time.
And then by 3.
And then the second year, I was in Maastricht, Netherlands, for the 2017 draft. That one I woke up in the night before.
Did you see Connor's question? Did Josh Doan make it?
Do you see Josh Doan making his debut this year? He might get a call up.
Maybe,
will he be a regular fixture on the team?
No. He needs more development.
Will he potentially get a game in this year? Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah.
Oh, one more thing that I want to mention before we head out. And I know we talked about this on Twitter yesterday, and there was a short on our YouTube channel. But obviously, the NHL Awards happened last night. Matt Keller didn't win the Masterton. I think that wasn't too much of a shock. We all kind of felt it would go to Chris Letang. But Matthias Michelli finished fourth in Calder Trophy voting.
Yeah.
Edmonton fans didn't like me saying that Stuart Skinner's season was overrated, but I'm not backing down from that.
But for Matthias Michelli, who missed a portion of those games with an injury, he was still led all rookies in points per game. But to see his name in fourth, I think was
on the all-rookie team. So
great season for him, and hope that he continues to mature and take that next step forward, because that's still a pretty good honor for a kid that
amazing
on a team.
I'm glad he's getting that recognition from the NHL. Absolutely. And to see him on the all-rookie team too was really cool. So
well deserved.
Yeah, congrats, Matthias Michelli. I feel like it's been too long. Matthias Michelli.
We gotta maybe we draft an Italian.
All right. Well, anything else before we go?
I would like to go take a nap now. Can I do that?
Next time Petey goes live, he'll be live.
Well, no, I'll probably be
4.5 hours.
No, I might be live at Tootsie's. You never know.
you better.
What if I get it? Maybe we could start a band. Maybe that's what we should do. Say less. Can you imagine doing that every night?
I'm down.
Are you in?
What are you playing? Down.
Simple Man.
So, and we're sleeping right now. Then, like we're sleeping during the day. We get up and we go to Tootsie's.
Yeah. What's your instrument?
My voice.
Okay.
Yeah. He's going to play guitar.
I'll play guitar.
Are you going to play guitar behind your head with a beer bottle in your mouth?
That guy, by the way, that was impressive.
That was also at Tootsie's last night.
That was a guy, guitar behind it, beer bottle in his mouth, and he drank the beer bottle like this while he played guitar behind his head.
How about the guy at the stage, by the way? Like, I'm not a fan of medleys, but that medley was unbelievable.
Oh, the fiddle player?
That was amazing.
The fiddle player?
Yeah.
I said it before I came to Nashville. I love me a good fiddle player. And she
could.
She was, I tell you what, she was the MVP of the night. The musical genius. She was phenomenal.
It was she was performing Devil Went Down to Georgia. And then she just
went off.
So then she just like interpolated a little 7 Nation Army.
It was just exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, and like Sweet Child of Mine was in there too. Like, what is going on?
That was a good band. That was the best band we saw.
Yeah, they were the MVP of the night. And so, you know what I think we need to do tonight? I think we need to go back down there, see a whole new set of bands to compare.
Are you hearing this? Do you remember what he said like 2 hours ago? I don't know if I'm going out tonight.
What do you think the over-under is that I end up at?
Caleb said Leah on the washboard, SDP on the standing base, Craig on the sparkling water bottle.
I think the chances, I take the over that I end up in Tootsie's tonight. I take the over.
And smash the over on number of beers Petey had last night as well.
That was hard over.
I can only see Craig playing the sax, Chad said.
At least they were nice light beers, not anything like Guinness. Oh, wait.
Oh, buddy.
When you don't have Four Peaks, that's what you got to do.
All right. Wow, is everybody drinking Guinness at this? Oh, no.
That's just Petey.
Oh, man. All right. Well, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to hit the like button on this video and make sure you stay locked into the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live, and also follow PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter. Tons more draft content coming. And if you have Instagram, if you have TikTok, follow PHNX Sports there as well. Lots of behind the scenes stuff on its way. But yeah, this is, the next time the three of us sit down together, we'll know exactly who the Coyotes draft.
That'll be at 11 XL on Thursday.
Yep. Looking forward
after
to
the
it.
Draft, after day 2.
Yep. So live draft show tomorrow, second screen, Petey and Sean, and then we'll have a draft recap show for all the rounds. Right. That'll be Tuesday, probably around 4 p.m. Arizona time.
And Leah and I will be checking in from the draft periodically.
Yes. Tomorrow. So really looking forward to it.
Yep.
We made it.
Let's go.
We made it. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us once again. You can follow all of us on Twitter at SPetersHockey for his Tootsies content and his man on the street who he's running into content. Yep. You can follow Craig for all the news at Craig S. Morgan. You can follow me. I don't know what you can follow me for. I'm sure I'm good for something. At Leah Merrill. You can follow Sean at Sean_DePods, and of course the show.
Am I getting followed?
I ran out of stuff. At PHNX_Coyotes. Everybody, thanks again so much for watching, and we will see you all live tomorrow for our draft show. But until then, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.